the Bible gives us hints what the actual situation was in verse 4. The fact that they had stripes, the fact that for me, the first verse in the day of your fast, you find pleasure. Other versions say you get profit. So it was more like the day of your fast, like business as usual goes on, something like that.
Does it have to be like money related, or can profit be exterior to money?
But the fact that they use the word pleasure, I'd say yes. I'd say yes. Because I think occasionally translates pleasure, so I think it could be related to yeah. And it's also an interesting contrast because you know how. Oh, but yeah. So verse 5 tells us God described, is it such a fast as I have chosen a day for man to afflict his soul? Is it to bow down his head like a bull, right? Like a bull, like something under this. To spread sackcloth and ashes under him? Will thou call this a fast?
Wouldn't that be humility?
So he first described the things that were happening before. And then now these look like the things that would have been done to show humility are now done as a way of pride. So, like how the Pharisees will go in the synagogue and stand up to pray. Because now it's more like I'm so holy. Okay. So now the same thing, like, come wearing sackcloth, like look all so bad and so like. The idea is that you're going to become somebody.
But how come is it contradicting? Like you're afflicting yourself. The Pharisees were not afflicting themselves at that moment. I'm doing what is right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm thinking? Mm-hmm. Not necessarily apply only to the Pharisees, but to all the different believers. Yeah. What I'm thinking is, they know that what you're doing is wrong, that you're afflicting the poor, they are afflicting a lot of people, that they're taking advantage of everyone around them. And then on the Sabbath, they just afflict themselves. They say, Lord, for you, Father. But then on Sunday, they just continue to repent. So there's no true repentance.
There's not true repentance.
Could be.
So I think so. One is not true repentance, right? So it's not like they are changing.
No. So there's no true repentance. There is no forgiveness.
There's no change. It's more like their life is still.
It's called remorse. When you feel bad about it, but you think remorse.
Just remorse.
Yeah.
So that could be the case. Another case would be the one that I'm thinking about is where you're doing it just for show. And I do believe that now, like, even in church, if I put on a good suit and go to church and sit down, you might think I'm a good
Or have a great performance.
So yeah, I do some good singing. We have all these good customs.
With makeup.
Customs that are they're good on the surface, and we do them to fulfill that. So in this case here, so God is asking, so on your fast, is it about ticking that I wore sackcloth? Tick. I've sprayed ashes around me. Tick. I bow down my head like a brush. Tick.
I see.
Right? And then the bit of afflicted soul, I think, is, I think that sort of seems more to your point there. The big deal I think for us today is even as church members, we have all these good customs, go to church, sing in a choir, lead the Sabbath school, all those nice things. Yeah.
But that's it, eh? You think we compensate with that? God says, is that what I'm asking for?
Exactly what I want. So now let's go into, and I think that we have to change. That's I think that one point that is in this chapter. The idea behind religion. So you find that there are so many people who are against religion, like even the term religion, because they notice that most of the people just do their custom, just for sure. And I think this chapter is going to define what true religion is. So that's verse 6 now. So these guys are thinking that our fast is all about, you can do all those things, wear sackcloth. That's why I think when Christ comes, he now says, when you're fasting, dress properly. Just look like you're not doing. Just look like maybe the whole day is going well normally, right? Because they had made it in such a way that now I show up. I fast twice a week. So is not this the fast that I showed you? No. God is now defining the fast that He has chosen. To lose the bands of wickedness. It's such a nice statement. Just don't understand. To lose the bands of wickedness.
Bands?
You could check other versions and see what they say.
Which verse is that one?
That's verse 6.
This is not the fast that I have chosen to lose the bonds. BONDS.
Those are bonds?
Bonds, so like an attachment. A bond.
So now we have to bring it down to a 20 circle. We have to understand in that context and bring it down to a 20 circle. What bonds of wickedness do we have? Or did they have? I can imagine, obviously, we talked about the people last. We talked about the bit of not respecting or loving one another. Do we actually, that's what they call wicked?
I'm trying to think of me and my church.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I see things happening. The lack of meekness and capacity to forgive others. You know? So the wickedness in case of, imagine war meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We're fighting meeting. You say something I didn't like.
Mm-hmm.
Right? A month ago.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're trying to see if we should take the Sabbath school to take it to a park. Right? So it's time. And just bring up the suggestion. And I truly think it's a great idea. But then I bring a lot of cons against that. How we're going to make a mess of the church. We're going to have to take all the chairs out. And we're going to disrupt everything that's happening. And we're going to have to come back, and that's a waste of time. I mean, how long is it going to take us to pack everything and then come back? That's like 20 minutes gone.
Mm-hmm.
Do we really want to do this? If we really want to study the Bible totally, we can do it here too. I still have some strife. I still have some Resentment. Because of something you said before, right? Could it be considered wickedness? I think it should. That's what I'm trying to see what happens in our church today. Because it's not gonna, I hardly will, I cannot think of someone on a Sabbath day going to hit another person or doing something.
We don't have very good
It's we cover it.
We have the next category.
Yeah, what else I think with children, like it's normal. Sometimes they just try to be, and this is something that Luz has told me that it's happening at the church and where she's at right now. The children are mean when they're not raised properly. So there's this cool girl, she's cool, very cool girl. She's like 10 or 12, and all the children like her, right? Like that she's so nice and she's like a leader. There's a new family and they brought their children. The new girl doesn't speak English properly. She's learning, right? The new girl. The girl that's popular in the church. We're talking about 12, 10 years old children. She tells everyone else not to talk to the new one. Literally. Like, oh no, sorry, she's coming, we're leaving now. Things like that. That's mean, so Luz is trying to like, help her out, like the new one, like she feels like I want to be with them, I want to play with them. I mean, they're my same age, and she cannot, she does not blend in. So this is working on that, and that's there. That starts from home. So, and it's church. I'm talking about church and the Sabbath day. They're children.
So the first problem I'm actually having personally was redefining wickedness. Because for me, wickedness is so wicked. I look at wickedness and look like, prisoners.
Evil, like you're evil, right?
You only find this in prison. Or, I don't know, gangsters or something.
As you go on, I'm gonna look for the definition in the.
Yeah. But I also have to grapple with the verse that says, Jeremiah 17:9, that says, the heart is deceitful above all things, desperately wicked.
The heart.
So I have to grapple with this. So the heart, my heart. Give you a minute.
Which one is the verse with wickedness? That it's wickedness?
So this is Isaiah 58:6.
58:6. Okay.
Then this one is Jeremiah 17:9.
Yeah, it doesn't really tell much. A wrong wickedness, iniquity. That's what it defines it as.
Yeah, iniquity is an interesting word also, because iniquity is the other word for sin, right?
For sin.
I usually try and say like sin, that's, I don't remember the definition, but something that's like rooted inside, like that. Like how you say hatred and resentment, something like so that kind of.
That's old sin.
So I'm now trying to redefine wickedness to something that happens in church.
I'm trying to apply it to what we live in, right? But go on.
Because the heart is deceitful. So those are lies. Above all things. above all things, and it says desperately wicked. Just compound the verse that it says that. Just want to go confirm the verse. I have that thing in me. I tend not to believe so much until I've seen my own eyes. Yeah, people quoting things. Yeah, Ellen White says this. Yeah, it's true. Actually, it ends by saying, "Who can know it? Who can know it?" Like the heart is so bad that you can't even know it. And then it goes on by saying, "I, the Lord, search the heart. I try the reins." So the heart is deceitful above all things and desperate. There's an and. So it's deceitful and desperately wicked. Who can know it? I, the Lord, search the heart. I try the reins to give every man according to his ways and according to the fruit of his doings.
It's what's interesting. The heart is so deceitful and that God has to search. He has to search. Well, like when you search for something, it's because it's not easily accessible. If I tell you, like Gideon, open a file on this, you cannot just open. You have to look for it. So you have to look for.
That explains a lot about the nature of things. Because there's very that thing of, why did God just destroy Lucifer or just destroy Adam and even create new people and stuff like that? But you understand the nature of sin, it's so deceitful that God had people argue and say that God had immediately destroyed Lucifer. I wouldn't really have taken away sin. Because to the angels are like, he's just bringing up new ideas. And they hadn't seen it before. It's not like there's any war happening by that time. There's no disease. There's no. Everything seems to be okay by then. And it's only until 4,000 years pass and they see all the bad things, and it goes to the level of Lucifer organizing the whole thing that leads the God of the universe to the cross, that the angels are like, man, this stuff is bad. Like,
I want to play devil's advocate here. The devil and the angels that follow him, they were removed from heaven before Adam and Eve were created.
I'm not sure. I should.
What's your assumption?
I
would say yes.
That's what I would.
I would assume yes, or the day that they were created, or the day after, or something like that. How long, Pat? What was the length of time from the moment that they were created and they were working until?
We don't know.
We don't know. There's no. It could be days, months, years.
Yeah, and I actually know. One of the things that I might say, like, it's definitely a protection. You can't be from other people and you make insurance there. So, I know someone actually says that because of the creation of the world, all the humans are interested in Lucifer is sort of interested in what was happening. And so it's like, oh no, there's more like the councils happening to prepare for the creation of the world. And so because Lucifer is not being taken into those councils, because he thought he was that kind of a big dog and stuff like that.
Is that written in?
Again, please.
Okay. It can be like
with a grain of salt.
A kilogram of salt. Okay.
But anyway, back to your point.
Well, let's assume, apart from the fact that he was before. Now you're saying that the heart is wicked. Do angels have hearts? Can they be deceived as we human beings were deceived or are currently being deceived?
So I would say yes, because I assume the heart that they're talking about here is probably
It's not the heart, the pumping one,
but
it's the mind.
reasoning.
So they have a mind, of course, of their own. They have to have one because they choose to praise God.
Yes.
So the mind is this.
And the nicest song to preach. Love yourself, or believe in yourself. Like, your mind is this.
Okay, murky waters here. I want to go briefly. Can I use your Bible? No, you have a lot of things open, and I don't want you to lose them. Oh, you lost them already. Okay. Genesis. Go to Genesis. I need to remember which verse though.
Trust in your follow your heart.
For God, I don't understand this version. Can you read verse 5?
For God doth know. God knows
Okay.
that in the day you eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods.
And ye shall be as gods.
Oh,
And ye shall be as gods. Now, you're not going to be the same level of God, but you want to be above everybody else.
yeah.
Your ego will be so high that you think you're a God. Why? Because if I believe that I'm better than anybody else, I'm just believing I'm superior. I'm not the same level than anyone. Therefore, my ego is high. You will be as God. Not as God, as God.
So this is.
And you say something, I remember that because you say something while you were reading about Isaiah 58. They were not humble. They were not.
They had, just about enough.
They were seeking their own benefit. What made them feel good? Their own, what is 58? Their own pleasure. What makes me feel good? That's what I want to do. Why? Because I'm like as gods.
Is this law the one law in the Lucifer? You've heard of like Lucifer Bible or something like that, certain Bible. There's only one law. Do what thou wilt.
And it's interesting because like God gives us free will.
You know, right? Do what thou wilt.
And it's so misleading because this is right. This is right. There is nothing wrong with this. But the thing, we are the problem. Our minds are deceitful. God literally told us this. Eat whatever you want. Do whatever you want. Except for this one thing. But our minds are deceitful. Don't you think?
It's like, yeah, like you say, the devil is so strategic that he's saying, do what you want. But he knows, like, you're
you messed up.
So this, and God's, like, the contrast you have is that God tells us you can eat of everything you want, except one thing. So there's a lot of freedom for you. Do everything you want, do anything you want,
Our hearts were pure at the time.
Yeah.
You know that. Yeah.
Except this. So this of which that was very small compared to all the rest, right? But now it's really big. But now okay, so I am starting to realize that most of the wickedness that once we were talking about the religion and the hatred, now I have to think of my mind. I have to think of myself. So God is saying that on a fast, the one thing I want you to do, lose the bands of yours and my wickedness. So the question I'm asking is, what wickedness do I have? And how do I lose that? How do I lose those points?
With wickedness.
I think so strongly from desperate to wicked.
Search me, O God.
Search me, O God.
Search me, O God.
Mm-hmm. Psalm 139.
Don't remember.
Yeah, Psalm 139 verse 20. Search me, O God, and know my heart. Try me and know my thoughts, and see if there be any wicked way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting.
That's the only way. Because you cannot eradicate wickedness from you. You need to let God search them. And say, Lord, help me identify them and let me hold on to you so you can drag me out.
Wait, we are so wicked
Now we cannot.
that we can't even define it.
It's a simple yet complicated. Right?
We are so wicked that it's not the nicest sound. It's also this down for the heart. We're so wicked. Actually, the first time I was like, who can know? More like, no one can really discern how deceitful the heart is. You can't wake up one morning and tell that you're in some bond of wicked. And it says that I, the Lord, search the heart, and then it says here, search me. So the only solution to losing the fire of wickedness is when God searches us.
There's nowhere around.
And I think there's a bit of humility, vulnerability to actually be there and say, you know what? Examine me. You know how I could, let's say, I've done a few presentations where I find it so hard to ask for feedback. And you know what is the feedback you're going to get is more like, yeah, you did a good job, yeah, nice. But really getting that feedback of like, it's probably right.
like bring negative reinforcing feedback,
Yeah,
perhaps.
That feedback that
Constructive.
It's
constructive.
Yeah, that breaks you and rebuilds you. Yes. So search me, O God. He says, and know my heart. Try me and know my thoughts. Oh boy. You know, the next is coming very close to saying this, but I'm like, I'm just being judgmental of myself. Right? He says, and see if there be any good way in me, and then lead me. So I'm ready to face my wickedness. I'm ready to give it up. But I have to first acknowledge that, first see. And then that just doesn't go away like that. More like I can't just wake up one morning and I've stopped doing this. Right? It's more like God has to tell you, oh my goodness, This is so wicked. This thing that you do, but it's so wicked. And like, change.
Thinking, how can I ask God to search my heart? The easy answer is prayer. And that's honestly the answer to everything, but it's just not that simple. Right? It's not that simple. It's like pray and then everything will be resolved. That's not the case. How can I let God search me? Because that's the thing, I need to let him search me. I need to ask him to search me. Because if I'm not willing, God is not going to force me. And I'm just going to go back to this example, just because I felt like me, 100% connected to me. I could have literally just offered this opportunity to go to this nice place to you guys.
Like, yay!
Right? Guys, let's do this. But then I have to stop and ask myself, is this what God wants to search me? Because I could have like added as much makeup as I wanted to without letting God search my thoughts, my past and my plans. So God, I have this project, I have this thought, I have this idea. And you ask, what would Jesus do in this case? And then with that question, you actually let God search you. Because if you can say, Lord, help me see if I should do this. You're good. Your mind is going to be open, but you want this, because you always try to find your pleasure. Pleasure mind is deceitful and wicked. So you always push towards the things that you want. But if you ask the right question, no, what would I do? What would Jesus do in my case? God is going to search you. Because now you're neutral. Now it's not you anymore, it's Jesus. But how can you know if you don't believe in Jesus? I'm thinking about now another person, a non-believer. They need to get to know the life of Jesus. So they can compare their lives to Jesus's. But anyways, as Christians, what would Jesus do?
You should have very fascinating project. Lots of short experience here. That part was you stop, right? And ask, and you're so willing to submit. And this reminds me a lot about David. But then it also reminded me about subtle, small, tiny, heart issues. I'll give an example. You help someone, you help this poor person in Colombia to send their kids to school. And then you go back to Colombia and they start praising you. Oscar! Look at Oscar! Oscar has done this for me. Oscar is such a good man. Oscar can do anything for you. It's just amazing.
You're starting to you like gods.
I only have that. No one is there. No one is seeing you.
Oh, something just came to mind. How then can you deal with mental health problems when you're not supposed to be like gods? When people who have mental health problems, they're always down. and you tell them, no, you got this. And then you gotta be the center of everything.
I sort of believe one of the reasons why we have mental health is because we make ourselves the same. I think we really need to today what I read was you shouldn't plan it very much. Okay, I mean, like I even see us saying that.
But I mean, you should plan.
But like, let God. And the idea we have is, you plan something like things don't work out. Things almost never work out. What happens? Depression. Right? Like, you perform poorly. If you don't surrender that to God, if it's all on you, then
What if your depression and anxiety is because you think you're not enough, that you're not sufficient?
that's the thing. If you trust in God, trust me, you're not sufficient for anything. Like, you're just desperate looking wicked.
That's so true. That's so true. We go back to the same
You're not
point.
even like in God's kingdom, you're not even qualified for anything.
But then, how can you? You cannot say that to a person.
You get like, because I feel like one of the reasons why we have so many mental health problems because we have so much wrong thought. Whereby, if you trust completely in God and you don't think of yourself as competent, you don't even add to yourself any good thing. Whatever you go through, if like how Jesus Christ was beaten like nothing, he didn't beat them like, but I'm the son of God. Why is this so happening? Right? All his confidence was, I know I have a Father in heaven, and whatever happens, he loves.
So, in a way, to find that kind of depression, you need to embrace the fact that you're useless.
But with God.
Right, right. So how do you finish? You need to embrace the fact that you're not, that you're useless, that you can do nothing, that you have no future, that you can do nothing, absolutely nothing. Well, you're not walking alone. And this does not depend on you. There's a God who's guiding you. Now, it does not lie on your power anymore. So it's actually, we say it's easier, but to a person who's going through that problem, it's not easy. But the solution itself, when you look at the big thing, it's simple. When you're not there, right? Because when you're there, you cannot see anything. But when you're looking at the bigger picture, it's easy. Just let go and let it go.
But yeah, it's kind of hard because the big problem we have is we are told a lot of subtle, small, tiny lies. And these things build up our whole foundation inside our minds, heart, and stuff. And so we are so deceived. It really does require a gentle re-education for us to unlearn all these things. To be at that level where we are so responsible yet so careful, right? We are so hardworking yet I don't care if you pay me, right? I sort of have this thing that I believe God will pay me. I have no food for tomorrow. I'm so fine. I don't even know where I'm going to sleep tomorrow. That was Jesus' life. I don't even know where I'm going to sleep tomorrow. I'll probably sleep up in the mountain somewhere. I'm okay with that.
That's a big problem. That's a big problem.
Yeah.
And applies to absolutely everything. When my ego is too high, me and I alone.
Yeah.
When my ego, there is no ego, and I'm absolutely useless, and I believe I know. I can't. I don't know. I am not sure.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sufficient. Positive or negative?
You can do it. Fine.
Now, when you are outside, you will be like God. When you leave that I aside, it's not you anymore. It's him. That's the only way.
Like you go through the hardest trials. Like the Peter, Paul guys in prison. He's singing hymns. He's being caned like, I don't know, 30, 40, I don't know how many strokes they wrote. But like those guys really received strokes, serious strokes. And he goes and starts singing. Like,
Like real.
don't beat me up, man. I'm so pained. Everything is paining me. Man,
They didn't die. They knew it was not them. It was. We're not. They
were
don't.
actually happy that the first one, they were happy that they were suffering from it.
It's very good reason. You know what I feel like this very moment? This should be a talk that we should have. I feel like we are.
It's so.
Version 2.0.
I actually believe this thing for me. Like that's so radical.
Before you go on, kind of
Yeah.
Aló. Aló. Hola, Mito. ¿Qué pasó? Estoy aquí con los muchachos. Estábamos tentando hacer un culto.
Let's do a quick prayer. And Father in heaven, we just want to ask for your presence here and confirmation of the teaching of these things. As we also pray that one day we shall help us to understand. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. So I wanted to show you like how much some of these things really is like. So here it says many are unable to make definite plans for the future. Their life is unsettled. They cannot discern the outcome of affairs, and this often fills them with anxiety and unrest. Let us remember that the life of God's children in this world is a pilgrim life. We have not wisdom to plan our own lives. It is not for us to shape our future. So by faith, Abraham, when he was called to go out into a place which he should, after receiving an inheritance, obeyed, and he went out not knowing where he was going. So here you are, you're planning for your life, and you feel so much anxiety, so much unrest. Like,
You have control.
yeah, where's my tuition going to come from? I want to get married immediately after school, but I don't have money right now. So how will I have money there? And blood, all that stuff, and it just fills me with anxiety. But then if you just really surrender that to God and know that God has a best thing for you, you'll be happy. We're talking about here on a different topic. We need to be aware of self-pity. Never indulge in the feeling that you are not esteemed as you should be, that your efforts are not appreciated, and that your work is too difficult. Let the memory of what Christ has endured for us silence every murmuring thought. We are treated better than was our Lord. There's a verse that says, "Seekest thou great things for thyself? Seek them not." Jeremiah 45:5. The Lord has no place in his work for those who have greater desire to win the crown than to bear the cross.
To wear the crown.
There are people who have a greater desire to win the crown than to bear the cross.
Because their heart is deceived. Because
They are more focused on the crown,
the reward.
the glory, I'll be king, I will bear the cross. Say, I'm willing to serve. You'd be more interested in I'm willing to serve, I'm willing to be a servant, to wash your feet, to go do all the kinds of hard work. It's not about when to. True, the reward is there, right? He wants men who are more intent upon doing their duty than upon receiving their reward. Men who are more solicitous for principle than for promotion. I think that the good question is, if there was no heaven, would you still live like a life like Christ lived? If you are not going to get anything out of it, right? Would you still sacrifice? Would you still give your whole life for God? If it meant you're just dying forever.
Also, there is still a God, but there is no heaven.
For instance. It's just like trying to relieve ourselves of self-pity, of self, all kind of bones of wickedness. Anyway.
Would you though still serve or love God if there was no salvation? Because when you actually talking about there's no heaven, meaning there's no salvation. So you just live your life, you just know there's a God. I wouldn't believe in that God. Like, he's mean, right? I would think about it now.
Okay, maybe there's a point of, if God is mean, let's assume. Let's bring it down because God is not mean. God is not mean.
No, yeah.
But let's say
the hypothetical situation.
Like parents.
Yeah.
It's like how parents are in their old age. Imagine you had a mean parent, and now they never took care of you, they never cared of you, they never did anything. But now they're in their old age and they need help. They have no food, no shelter, no place to stay. Would you help them?
Yes.
That's the thing. This is a parent who literally never cared for you at all.
Would you still care for your parents?
You still love them. Even when you know it's just going to be a burden, you're going to be paying $5,000 every month. Either they stay at your home or you rent, you give them $5,000 every month too. And they're still mean.
You're describing us. You're describing us human beings. Just that in this case, we're the parents. In that case, we're the parents.
Okay, that's really. So I think so to lose the bundle of things, There's one verse, the 3 points I think I want to do, and then I'll close with something I want to say. So the first point was, I think the first chapter of Isaiah, where God marvelously says, "Come now, and let us reason." Again, you remember that thing where you said you stop and ask, you sort of say, "Search me, O God," right? So, like, so God has already placed an invitation, and okay, good, I accept the invitation. Now, search me.
That's a sermon right there.
So, let us reason. Listen, though your sins be as scarlet, so you might be so. I tell you, they're going to be white as snow. God. Wow. Though they be red like crimson, shall be as wool. It's a marvelous promise. So hinting to the mental health situation, the solution is not in ourselves. I think that's a big problem. The solution is actually having that other God who, though we are wicked, yet he is willing to. He's just willing to actually work with us, change that wicked state, and he has all the power. We don't. It's amazing. And the two other points I don't want to leave is the one thing that makes David such a wonderful king was that he always had that thing of which to us. Even when he wanted to put up the temple. Like imagine he wanted, this is like the most righteous thing to do, to put up a temple for God, right? And then he asks the prophet, and the prophet is like, no, it's not you. Such a good idea, but like, no, it's your son to do.
Could have he done it? Probably yes.
Yeah.
Would have not been accepted, would have been destroyed, would have not been even completed.
Yeah. But he submitted and like, no, I'll submit.
And accept.
And he did that so many times. So many times he would love to go to war. And then he would pray. And God would be like, do this and that. Go, do not go. And he would submit. That's one thing that made David such a great king. And then for those small, subtle, tiny heart issues, I find them so much with a man called Job. Job talks about his experience because he was sorry, but he mentions somewhere where he's like, if in my heart I kissed my hand, I said, man, you've done some good work. Well done. So I'm going to read a few verses. Okay, so he did the physical things. If I withheld from the poor their desire, or caused the eyes to fall, or if I have eaten my food alone, and the fatherless has not eaten thereof, if I have seen anyone perish for want of clothing, or any poor without covering, if his loins have not blessed me, and if you were not warmed with the place of my shield, if I lifted my hand against the fatherless when I saw my help in the gate, and then let the arm fall, or then he says something should happen to him. And then he said, if I made gold my hope, that's a very deep heart issue.
where you sit down and in your mind you're like, "God, I can't handle it. If I met gold, my hope. What say to find gold, thou art my confidence." See the money and like, I can do that. I can afford that. Right? But deep inside is like, he had all this gold, but inside is like, I'm not going to trust you. I'm not going to trust you. I'm not going to trust you. I'm going to trust in God. So however much I have all this wealth, this sheep and all this stuff, I'm not going to put my trust in it. That's a heart issue. You kind of have to repeat yourself 1,000 times, saying to yourself that I don't rely on money. Money is not my hope, right? It says, if I rejoiced because my wealth was great, is it bad to rejoice because the wealth was great? If I rejoiced because my wealth was great, because mine hand had gotten rich. So John is like, I'm not even going to be happy because I've made much. I'm not going to rejoice in that.
Not in the fact
Yeah,
that I have wealth.
I.
Now, look how different it sounds before you go on. I will rejoice in the fact that God has given. But then the me comes, that God has provided. Who? He has provided.
Yes,
He has provided.
You say, if I beheld the sun when it shined, or the moon walking in brightness, and my heart has been secretly enticed, or my mouth has kissed my heart. So you look at the sun, sun looks good, the moon looks bright. Things are going well, right? And his heart is secretly enticed. Wickedness, right? Or the mouth kisses the sun. This also were an iniquity to be punished by the judge, for I should have denied the God that is above. Very subtle. Very subtle. Another subtle one. I thought I'd leave it at that. There was another subtle one. If I rejoice at the destruction of him that hated me, or lifted up myself when evil found me. So there's this enemy of yours. He has been against the Adventist church for so long. Now he died.
Rejoice.
Neither have I suffered my soul, my mouth, to sin by wishing a curse to his soul. There is this thing of people hate politicians. Oh, this politician is so bad. This guy is so good. This guy is so bad. But no, he didn't even allow his mouth to curse such a bad person. Like how Jesus said, forgive him. I don't know what they do.
There, it's hard
Mm-hmm.
because you always want to be able to keep your opinion.
Mm-hmm.
You always want to be able to speak up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is what I feel. This is what I think. But when you're in the center, those are going to be your thoughts. That's a bad person. Why? Because I think he's a bad person, and I can give you reasons. But if you're not the center anymore, and God is, why should we worry about it? If it's affecting you, pray God that He will provide. Do not pray that that person will be destroyed. Because then, like, God, I want you to do it. Like, God, may your will be done. Let me accept it, whatever it may be. Meekness and being humble. hard to do. It's hard for the sinner, not impossible. So before we wrap up, let's just do a quick summary. If you take your food from, what does the verse say?
If you take away your food from the Sabbath, from doing your pleasure on my holiday.
So what's the problem? The problem is that you're constantly doing your pleasure, that you think you're worshiping
Your
God.
pleasure.
Your pleasure.
Your pleasure.
So you're constantly worshiping God. Believe you're thinking you're worshiping God, but you are the center. You are the center. And God is telling you, listen, you need to take you for that month of like stepping on the Sabbath.
Yeah.
Do your own pleasure. And do what I ask you to do. Why? Because what you're doing, what you think is right,
All this is
deceitful. It's weak.
good customs.
So basically remove all that covering or all that makeup that you have on, because it's just a covering. But the truth inside is that you think that you're a God, but you're not. Your heart is deceitful and you're wicked in the core. Now, let's sit down. Let's sit down and reason together. Now, you need to be able to recognize this, that you are the center. If you recognize that that's a fact, then ask God, search me. Because first of all, you need to let God search you. You cannot search yourself. So I will come and search. And I will show you what the things that you must change. And you can sit down and let it reason together. And reasoning together does not mean, okay, let's find some middle ground. No. That's not what reasoning together is.
It's a thing of
Accepting who you are and you guys show me.
show me a new way and lead me the way everlasting.
So we go into what the problem is. How we can solve it.
Now we can be quite
So if we don't know how we're stepping on the Sabbath, or we still have our feet on the Sabbath, we gotta ask God, search us. Search us. We need to.
basically last week someone kind of hit me in a good way. Because why you tend to want to have a religion where God is not like a real person. Yeah, because he's saying, I the Lord search the heart. Come now, let us reason. Like it's like God is saying, I'm not formed, I'm not saying it, I'm not do's and don'ts. I'm a person. You need to be connected. So the Sabbath, don't go out doing all the do's and don'ts. I'm going to wear good suits, I'm going to go to church, I'm going to come connect with me. Come connect. Let us be in that region. And like he says, search me, O God. It's in a prayer, right? It's a sort of like communication set. You're connecting with God. More like let us actually be friends with God. And I kind of been struggling this week here with that. Look up, there's so much to do. You want to just run to do everything. Pausing to pray. Right? Just go through, okay, it's like that, we need to get. I read the lesson. What's the time?
I feel you. That's a question that we gotta ask ourselves constantly. That's a petition. We should ask ourselves constantly. Search me, Lord.
I think there's so many things we've learned today. It's amazing. But I think the one thing that I kind of want to go back and forget mostly is I think of actually, because we want to lose a bundle of going to Africa. And the secret is simply just beautiful. Just that, like, reason with him, walk with him, send that to prayer, Lord, should I do this? And so stay connected to him. He's a nice person.
I don't know, were we afraid of him? I think the reason why we're afraid of him is our condition. But again, our heart is deceitful.
Yeah.
I remember when Adam and Eve did sin.
Mm-hmm.
Why were they afraid? Because of their condition.
Yeah.
And God literally said, let's have a conversation that is, what was the word of the verse? That is the reason. Wow. So much in a chapter, eh?
We just one close. Yeah?
You know what the beauty is? That everything connects. We're able to go to Genesis, New Testament, able to actually go and see in history the Dark Ages, and we still worship the same God that has been telling us over and over. Don't trust yourself.
And you talked about how it's so popular today. I believe it's one of the biggest causes for mental health challenges.
I'm just thinking, how can I tell a person with mental health issues? Listen, you're worthless. You need to accept that. At the beginning, it's gonna be like just lapping them, right? But they need to go through that process, and it has to be strategically done.
Yeah.
But they need to realize that they are nothing. That we are nothing.
I think the best way to present it is through that stuff.
Yes. Our condition, yeah, but if you go straight to it, listen, memorize this.
You're such a liar. Your mind is so deceitful.
Your
Right?
core itself is rotten, you know, like, no, that's not the way to do it. It has to be a study.
But then that really is like, because God says, yes, you are scarlet, red like crimson. You are deceitful above all things. I'm the person. I'm the guy. Like, your car is faulty, you go to the mechanic. Your heart is sick, come.
Why are you looking somewhere else?
Like, are you gonna go anywhere? Come. Look at that, actually. Your mind is sick. When do you want to go anywhere? Come, let us listen. And like, you know what? I have a future for you planned out. Relax. I'm the one responsible for it.
You got it covered.
You might say, I know the hairs of your head. You don't even know them.
And you know what is so hard to believe in God sometimes? Because I need to be in control of Him. Because I need to be able to see. Because I cannot see beyond, and therefore what I'm able to see is what I trust and believe in.
Mm-hmm. In a way, materialistically, are you excited to go to going back home? Like no, because I know, like, I'm like, no, okay, I said, like, why not stressing myself? Like, they're just being excited. This is like, oh my gosh, I'm so, how would I balance my time? But I have the money.
Remember the song that we were singing last week?
Mm-hmm.
You have been so good to me. I don't know the lyrics. You don't remember? You don't remember the lyrics? All my life I have been so good. No. With every breath that I'm able, I will sing. I love you, Lord, for your mercy never fails me. I have been held all my days, I have been held in your hands. From the moment that I wake up until I lay my head, oh, I will sing the goodness of God. And all my life you have been faithful. And all my life you have been so, so good. With every breath I'm able, I will sing of the goodness of God. I love your voice. You have led me through the fire. In the darkest night, you are close like no other. I've known you as a father, I've known you as a friend, and I have lived in the goodness of God. And all my life you have been faithful. All my life you have been so, so good. How come then that I still have trust issues? That I cannot just enjoy the moment, enjoy what I have. Not doing my own pleasure, just rejoicing because God is in control. Just rejoice. Hey, my family is sick.
Paul was in people, I think, was in prison when he said, rejoice in the Lord, but now because again he said, rejoice. This was in prison. He's the man of prison.
It's not a comfortable place to be.
And he's going to rejoice. Yeah,
If we go to another building, we have to.
right?
We have to.
Yeah, I should be excited.
God has plans.
God has a plan, man. All I can do in my talk, I'll try and represent to him, but I'll say to his leader.
And you know why you should rejoice? Just look back and say, you have been so good.
Right?
It's kind of like a slap at the same time as something beautiful. It's like, why are you concerned? If God has been so good your whole life, right? It makes you feel like you're in control, Lord. But why am I still struggling to believe? This was a great Bible study. You know what I think I would love to have at our Bible studies at church would like to. This is a study. I feel like this is a study.
Amazing. Thank you.
Shall we pray? Let us pray. Most
powerful and mighty God, our Father in heaven. Lord, you that watch over us, that you have been with us our whole lives. You have known our plans, our lives, even before we were born, Lord. And we have had the privilege, Lord, to see your love and mercy act in our lives every single day. We thank you, Father, for what you have done for us. The blessings we have received, those that we can clearly see. Also for those that we have to look for, that although might look a little bit small or minute, they're just mighty. Thank you for everything you have given us, Lord. We still struggle. We still have difficult times. We're constantly battling our minds, our thoughts. But today, Father, you reminded us that our hearts and our minds are deceitful, that we're wicked, and we shall not trust our own understanding. And for that very reason, we need to approach you, get close to you, so we can fully rely on you, Lord, and not our strength. You tell us, Lord, that you invite us to reason with you. That willingness, Father, is something that we have to work on. That every time that we take a step, that we want to make a decision, let us ask within our hearts, is this the right thing to do? Is this what Jesus would have done? Is this what Jesus would do? So we can let you, Father, in our lives to search our hearts and show us the truth of our intentions, so we can make the best decision, Father. The decision that will please you, the decision that will put ourselves, our ego, to the lowest point possible, Father, so your name can be magnified and glorified. Help us battle with our thoughts and give us peace, Father, as we enter in the Sabbath day. Thank you for your mercy and your love all these years. And thank you, Father, because you will continue to be our God and continue to be as good as you've been so far. Let us trust and rely on the fact that you have promised us to be with us all the time. Let us just believe in you and trust you all the time. Even under suffering, let us rejoice, for you are with us. In Jesus' name I pray.
Yay!
Brother Gideon.
This is really